Would you want to be in real life horror movie?
No. Why?
Oh, I don't know. I just asked. I don't know.
Well then, let's Terrorscape it.
This is the review for the board game Terrorscape, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this video, you will know if you'd like to visit this or escape it.
We have 6 horrific questions that we will answer in this video, but before we do that, Yanis, what is this game all about?
In Terrorscape, you are either playing the bad villain, slasher, killer, murderer type, or you're playing one of the guys trying to escape.
In this game, there are 2 sides, the bad guy, the villain, played by one person always, and the other side, or the good guys, that is played up from 1 to 3 people. The good guys can win if they repair the radio and wait for the police to come and rescue them, or if they find 5 keys in the mansion and get out successfully. The villain or the bad guy wins if he kills one of them, and he just has to do 2 damage and he wins.
During the game, teams alternate taking turns. So first the bad guy will go, then the good guys will go. On the bad guy's turn, he can play cards, and then he can either use actions or play some more cards. And the cards let the player move depending on who the bad guy is, because surprise, surprise, there are 3 bad guys that are distinctly different. For example, this guy with the chainsaw is slow, but he's blocking everything. He's closing all the doors, and he's like this slow menace that's coming after you. And he has his own unique set of cards. So the bad guy will play some cards, maybe do some actions or play some more cards, and then his turn ends. Another thing he wants to do is he really wants to go through his cards, because every time he goes through his deck, he will level up. But the main thing obviously he wants to do is try to attack somebody and preferably kill him.
Because it's a hidden movement game. Always when the bad guy moves, he tells us where he moves, if we're the good guys. When the good guys move, we don't tell anything and do actions. And usually it's searching, trying to find keys. But the big problem is, by doing all these things, you make noise. And at the end of the good guy's turn, I have to tell you where there was noise on my turn. And what we also have to do is we have to kind of whisper or talk with each other, and the other person will hear all of the things we chat about. So we have to be secret about our thing. So it's a very intriguing, secret game full of suspense. And we're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, so we should jump to the first question, which is...
Who would you buy this for?
3, 2, 1. People with healthy nervous system. This game is thrilling from A to Z. Being the bad guy, you are just always eager to find out where they are, and always trying to, okay, I'll search here, I'll search here. You're rushing from one room to the other like really a villain. When you find out that there's noise or somebody places the key card on top of the house, you feel like, no, I have to find you. Where are you? You know, you feel really villainous all the time. Yeah. And for the good guys as well, as you are hidden in the room and the bad guy might come into your room, they're sitting just in the corner and feeling like, don't search, please don't search. No, please don't search. I'm not here, it's fine. Will ruin your nerve system for sure, but in a really, really good way.
Mine is, and I think I'd ever write something like this for a game like this, it's for anybody. I mean, it's very accessible. Sure, the only thing I feel that might keep somebody away from this is the theme, but there's no blood. It's a hidden movement game that is very accessible with a very juicy theme. What are the best things about this game? My third best thing for this game is going to be the winning conditions. It's just, I feel that anybody could win, even until the last turn. Sure, there's a lack of draw, there are dice rolls and everything, but it's anybody's game. And obviously hidden movement helps with that, because you're like, I have no idea where they are and how good they're doing.
For me, the third thing is the bad guys and the feels that they give. There are 3 different bad guys in the original set. Each of them, as you said, feel completely different. They work completely different. For example, there's Ghost, who can directly hit you, because, you know, he can't touch physical things. But he can make fear, and then by making fear can damage you. And it just thematically feels so great. Every single character feels different, and it feels different for both teams. Playing the bad guys feels different. Playing against the bad guy is just completely different game.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna move up my first thing to my second thing, because my second thing fits as a first thing. Does that explain?
Didn't get anything you said, but alright.
Anyway, hopefully the next part you will get. So I had baddies and items. You already talked about the baddies. That's exactly that. That just adds to the replay value. But also the items that those guys have They go searching for stuff and getting items. They also change the game dramatically. And what this game does uniquely that no other game does, or I haven't seen, you search for stuff either you want or don't. At the end of their turns, they have to go, maybe he should take it. No, maybe him or her. Okay, and then you decide who gets 2 items and has to keep 1.
Components and the feels. Look at this house. This house is the reason why it's on our table.
It
right?
is.
You can tell the story.
Yeah, so first time I ever saw this game was at Essen. 2022. I was just minding my own business, walking through the hall when I was like, what is this thing right here on the table? And that's why we're reviewing this game right now.
It looks great, but it also functions very, very, very good. As you mentioned about the screen thing, about the keys, placing the siren or whatever it's called. This is the only way you communicate, and this communication way is just so powerful. Having Dice Tower right here is just perfectly made. They're coming out with Kickstarter in the beginning of
That's what
April.
they say, but very soon, yeah, depending on when you're watching this video.
Very soon, so check it out. We will link it in the description if it's already there.
My number 1, like I mentioned, was number 2, but your number 3 was similar to my number 2, so my number 2 is now number 1. Was it clear this time?
No, not even
Fine,
close.
here's my number 1. Table Talk. It's, like you said, is better with more. And I have to agree, because we recently reviewed Sniper Elite, which is also a hidden movement game. And there we said it's best with 2. Then this is definitely not best with 2. Play with at least 3. Because you being the bad guy here and listening to them go like, I think he or she has to go there, and that adds another layer to the game.
I named it the Whispers and the Feels as well.
Oh, so a lot of feels there.
A lot of feels. I call it the Whispers because you don't want to give any information out. And the best game I had was with 4 players, where 1 was the baddie and 3 people played the good guys. Because the conversations there and just exchanging information was crazy. And it felt like I'm listening through the walls. I can hear what they're kind of talking about. I felt like a villain listening in, and it's much more interesting even when I have downtime, I can hear them and try to pull out some information there. Why did I write down the feels with all of this? Is because all of these mechanisms, all of this game, what it really brings to me is the feeling, is the thrill. That I would want from like a horror movie board game on the knife's edge all the time, and I loved it.
Don't you just love taking that chainsaw and just running around?
And that's why you will never be the president.
Why this game might not be for you. So why this game might not be for them.
So my first one is frustrations. So from time to time you will get into this like sticky situations where the other team is really progressing. Well, how exactly? Really quickly progressing, and you feel like, where did you go? Why? How? What?
And obviously you assume they're cheating. Or they misunderstood the rule.
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes you're gonna get some item combos with some other things and really quickly progress. But not knowing anything, what's happening on the other side, and seeing that they are really moving quickly and you don't know where they are and you can't find them, can get at points like, oh, so frustrating.
Well, mine's, he's lonely. He's so lonely. He has no body. And I mean no body, I mean he hasn't killed anyone yet. Anyway, when you're playing the bad guy, you have nobody to talk to. You can try to talk to the other guys, but they go like, yeah. So maybe this should be that and that. And they're like, but, and you're just there all alone, waiting for your turn. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. I don't know why I put it so high up. It's not a big deal, but it is lonely playing that while they're like, I mean,
a nice representation.
You wanna join in on the fun?
Another thing is paying attention. It's very important that you keep paying attention all the time. Yes, in their conversations you can find clues, and you have to be really on point all the time, because if the bad guy moves in the wrong direction like 2 times in a row, it can hurt quite a bit, especially at the end of the game. And that also goes for the good guys.
The main thing why this might not be for you is the theme. I mean, it's just gonna come down to that. I know, even though I said it's not bloody and it's for anybody, but if you're like, no, slasher movies, no, it's gonna be a hard sell. Even though I think if you do sell it and the person plays it for the first time, they'll go like, huh, it's not that bad. Theme is going to be the biggest obstacle of all of these. And even if they're like not much into slasher things, make them play the heroes together. Because it's gonna feel differently than just going around and trying to kill. Yeah.
My last thing is mind games. Because this game at the end of the day comes down to all the mind games. It comes down to knowing the other person and figuring out, he won't look here, right? If you have been enjoying this video so far, please consider supporting us on Patreon, because there you can find more content with our beautiful faces.
But please do check it out. Let's just talk about how long is the honeymoon.
3, 2, 1. 6 times in a row I played this game in one evening, straight, one game after the other, and I'm not even close to done. I played multiple times after that, and I'm still feeling like I could get so much plays out of this game. It feels like a party game, yet there's more depth, but the honeymoon part comes totally from the party games, which you could play like multiple times.
Items gonna come up differently, you can pick different baddies, you can pick different strategies, so there's a lot of things to explore. Plus, this is coming to Kickstarter, and I'm betting there's gonna be some more baddies. Best alternative.
3, 2, 1. Captain Sonic.
Cheers, mate!
Nice. Cheers. Wow. Wow. But it does, right?
It so does.
Just the like thrill.
Yeah, and the table talk.
And the table talk as well. Just here, do that, here. If you have played Captain Sonar, or if you haven't, well, basically it's about trying to sink the other player's ship while surviving yourself, doing other things, and it's also a team game.
Yep.
Usually, most likely, hopefully, one person is like navigator, other person is like responsible for torpedoes or other things, and you just have to communicate and move somewhere, shoot somewhere, and try to find where the other team is.
And you're also listening to what the other team is, where it's going, like forward, left, and you're trying to figure out, okay, where could they be? Yeah. But it does give the same feel. This is like level up, and I don't mean it just physically, but also the rules wise and everything else that is in here. Captain Sonar is way more accessible. It's the final rating.
3, 2, 1. Fantastic.
Here are my artistic skills. This is the villain that looks like an angry cat, which is must have. Is slashing fantastic.
Okay.
So it is fantastic.
It is.
It is fantastic. And yes, there's that theme, which doesn't per se make it must have, but I almost feel like must have could slice the fantastic and just be done with it. I can see me playing this game on so many different occasions. The rules are quite easy to get and teach. There are some small little things that come from here and there on the items, but still, I mean, the game is less than an hour.
Yeah, I was actually fighting myself with the must have and fantastic as well. It's brilliant all around. A great party / serious game.
You meant party slasher serious game.
Exactly. Anyways, thank you, and consider subscribing, consider liking, as well as supporting us on Patreon. And thank you to all that do that.
Yeah, and if you don't know why would you do that, every month we do a special video just for our supporters that nobody else can see.